Good morning, friends. Welcome to Saturday in the Studio. As you can obviously see, I am not your regularly scheduled guest or host, Lisa Schmid. She is outside staffing our bonus day of the garage sale. So if you are local, don't forget, stop by between now and 2 for the garage sale. But in the meantime, you get me for Saturday in the Studio. So obviously, with working both sides of the camera today, I may be a little slow on the comments and responding there because I have to focus on a few other things. But, I am excited. I like when I get a chance to come in front of the camera. And there's been a card that I saw. I saw something similar not too long ago. And I thought, you know what? That's something I think we should do with one of our broadcasts. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do today. So let's go ahead and bounce down to our other camera. So I'm going to be using today something that you hear Lisa talk about a lot, and that is stylish shapes. And I can say if there is one set of dies that you had, stylish shapes would probably be it, because there is so much that you can do with these wonderful things. Let me just flip it over here. As you can see, stylish shapes comes so easy to layer, with the circles, with the squares, with our banners that we have here that you can put nice sentiments in or just use for nice little accents on your cards. There are just so many things that you can do with stylish shapes. And not only is it the layered shapes, but the detailing of the little stitching that goes around the shapes is great as well. And so today, I'm going to be using primarily stylish shapes for everything that we're doing. So let me just set that aside, set aside our mat, and get started here. Actually, I'm going to pull back and grab just these three. So I started off with these three circles. I pulled out, and these are the smallest three circles that are in this set. And I said, all right, let's get started with these. And I think there's some fun things that we can do with layering these. And so here's what I went ahead and did. I focused on three of our in colors this year. Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, and Orchid Oasis. And as I did that, I started cutting each of these into circles. And so there's the largest of Parakeet Party. There's a Tahitian Tide. Here's an Orchid Oasis. And then I also did just our white. So I just started with those. And at the same time that I cut those, I also cut the next two sizes down. So there's my parakeet. And then, grab my right one here. And then I did the smallest one of Tahitian. And I continued that through all of these. So, I mixed up my piles here, so now I have to look. So I have my orchid, my white, and my orchid. I have parakeet, there we go, Tahitian parakeet, and I have my white and an orchid and white. And then I went ahead and did those in a couple different combinations as well. So there we have all our layers. Now you'll see this one, I started to look at, could I punch two at the same time? And I can, and it's going to work for this card. And I actually think it would be kind of fun to do something with that where you just drop the other color right in there. It's not what we're doing today, but it would be a fun option there. So let's go ahead and just quick assemble these. Now, if I was as organized as Lisa, I would have already pre-done some of these, but I didn't. So you know what? That's okay. So I'm just going to drop on these circles on there. And again, making sure to keep the stitch side up because I really like that detailing there. So we'll move to our next stack. Like I said, stylish shapes is a great set of dies to have. So versatile, so many things that you can do with them. And I would highly recommend you get it. Additionally, if you only have the small Stampin' Cut and Emboss, it works just fine through there. All of the dies will make it through the small size of the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, or Mini Boss as we sometimes like to refer to it. So I'm just going to finish up these. Sorry, it's going to take a while. And as we know, I'm not as quick at this as Lisa is. So Just takes us a minute here. Now this one where I did my double, that's fine. I'm just going to cover that up with my Orchid Oasis right on top of it. Never even notice it was back there. I also have larger hands than Lisa, so I have that working a little bit against me as well. Oops. Oh, you know what? All my adhesive is right where the hole is. So let's add a little bit more on there. All right. Almost done. That one is upside down. Let's flip it over so we see all the nice little dots around the edge. Just 2 more to go, folks. So what are you guys doing this weekend? I have to say, here in Minnesota, it's great. The heat has finally broken after just some record-setting days this week. It is finally just a gorgeous day here in Minnesota today. So, and finally our last one. Okay, so there we are. We have all of our circle stacks. Kind of think they look a little bit like peacock feathers just because you have the layers. And I'm going to take a piece of, it's going to be a layer on our card. It's going to kind of form the base of this piece that I'm doing right now. And I'm going to go ahead and put those on here. So as I do that, you're going to see some of them I'm going to put off the edge because then I'm just going to trim them off as we work our way through. So I'm going to stick one up there. We're going to come with Parakeet Party and do that one more like this. Go ahead and bring in an orchid. Just trying to vary the direction that they're facing, where they're going. And we'll just work our way through here. And if I end up not using all of them, I have something I can do with it. So with this one, we're going to go right up to those 2 edges, but not over. And our last one we're going to do on the front, I'm just going to stick this one right down here. All right, and this one I'm going to save for just a minute. All right, so there we have kind of our base, but you know what? I kind of like having a little bit of extra dimension in there. So I'm going to drop in a couple of just these extra whites that I have. And I'm just going to drop one up there. Drop one in over here. That's fine. All right, so before I go any further, I want to go ahead and trim off these edges. So I'm just going to flip it over, grab our snips, and just snip off those little extra pieces we have going on right there. All right, so there we are, all snipped off. Yep, looks like we got them all there. All right, well, obviously we have to add a sentiment to this. And I talked about how the banners that are a part of stylish shapes are perfect for your sentiments. And so here I have 2 of the sizes, and on the little one, I'm going to add our sentiment. Now, the sentiments I'm using Sending Smiles because it has these great little ones that are going to fit really nicely on that banner. So I think with this one, we're going to go ahead and use Birthday Wishes. Let's see if I can find it in here. Yep, there it is. Sometimes reading upside down and backwards is a little tricky, but we'll get it there. Go ahead and stick that right on our block. Now this is photopolymer, so I am going to use our matte. Clear off my space here a little bit. And for my ink, I'm going to go ahead and use the Orchid Oasis, the color that we've been using as a part of this. So let's just get that inked up. I'm a little worried. I am not as neat as Lisa is, and so sometimes I worry that I'm going to get some of this ink on. And I cannot find any of our tissues here on this side of the desk, so push through. Sorry about that. Because I'm just going to take this little extra ink off my block because I don't want to accidentally smudge that on there. All right, with that, we are looking straight through, trying to get it centered and straight. There we go. Birthday Wishes. Looks good. All right, so now we're going to take that and we're going to put it right on our larger size of the banner. Go ahead and drop it right in there. Except it's not centered. That looks a little better, and I smudged it, but that's okay. We're going to leave it for now. Now, one thing Lisa said when I offered to do today is she said, just remember, you have to pop something up. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab our dimensionals. And put 3 of those on the back here. Pull back in our card. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and drop Birthday Wishes, smudged and all, right in the middle here. Now, last thing before we add it to our base is, no card is complete without a little bling. So I'm going to go ahead and use our flat adhesive backed pearls. These are just nice and festive and gives it just that little bit of bling that, as we know, every card needs a little bit of bling. Drop that one right in there. I think we are good to go. And with that, I'm going to go ahead, and here's my card base. It's in Orchid Oasis, a top opening card. And let's go ahead and just I'm going to go ahead and adhere my whole piece right on the top, trying to get it straight and centered. Get it nice and matted there. And then for the inside, I'm going to add a piece of white so that you could write on the inside of this. And then that's what I'm going to do with my little extra circle stack that we had earlier. I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to that. And just put it right down here in the corner to give it just a little bit of fun on the inside. So there we have it. That's our first card. Again, using Parakeet Party, Tahitian Tide, and Orchid Oasis, and the Stylish Shape dies. Now, I have to say that once I got started looking at this and looking at these different cards, I also thought, you know what? You could do the same thing using the squares. By putting together the squares, you could go ahead and do much the same thing. And honestly, you could do this, those are just my extra pieces. You could do them as squares. I actually, when I looked at them and I was thinking about playing with it, I was thinking I would maybe go ahead and position them in the corners and use them almost more like diamonds and put those around the card. Doing much the same thing, just using squares or diamonds in its place. I think that would be a really fun look to do with that. All right. So Dave, do you have any announcements for us? Well, actually I do. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of our announcements. First of all, coming up is our Card Cafe. Card Cafe is our in-person event that happens here at the studio in Minnetonka. Card Cafe, the next one is coming up August 12th. It's from 10 to noon. You get to come, you will walk away with 10 amazing cards. You get to select from the designs we have available. You choose 5 of them, make 2 of each of those. It's $25. It is lots of fun, lots of laughter, and that is coming up on August the 12th. Now, don't forget, for all the things that I mentioned, you can always go to thestamperstudio.com to sign up, to register, to buy products. All of that is right there. In fact, while I'm mentioning it, right up at the top there is always our nice shopping cart. If you need to order things that we mention on our broadcast or things that you see in the catalog, go ahead and click here. It automatically applies the host code. And I will just brief call out, you have until Monday for the promotion that's going on right now. For every $50, you get $5 that you get to spend in August. So great bonus there. The other thing, something we announced last week, is Jumpstart for Christmas. We all know that we can procrastinate and wait too long to get going on our Christmas cards. This year, don't wait. Go ahead today. Go to the stamperstudio.com, click and order Jumpstart for Christmas. It's an on-demand class. What this means is we are going to send you all the supplies to make 12 cards. There's 4 each of 3 designs. You'll get a PDF with instructions as well as a video tutorial that you can use, follow along, and make those cards at your leisure. I'm going to recommend to go ahead and make them soon after you receive your supplies so that you don't wait until the last minute. But what a great way to get a jump start on your Christmas card designs this year. And like I said, 12 cards, $25 if you just get the supplies and the instructions and everything I just mentioned. Or for $50, you can get the class as well as the Brightest Glow stamp set, which is the one in our designs we use for sentiments. If you don't want that stamp set, if you just want to use sentiments that you already have in your collection, totally fine. Order just the class, you'll get the supplies, the instructions, the video. Or for $50, we will also add in that stamp set as well. Last call out, the Refuge Little Falls. Our next, our hosted retreat in September. We are offering a special deal with our hosted retreat in September. The dates for that are September 15th to the 17th. This is at our retreat house in Little Falls. For $170, you will get your crafting space. All your meals are provided. Normally, we do just one card make and take as a part of those hosted weekends. But our September session, we have a number of our Stampin' Up! Friends who are coming. A lot of our fans of the Stamper Studio are going to be there. So we are actually giving a bonus class, not just a one-card tutorial, but a whole class that we will be doing a one-sheet wonder class, showing you how you can maximize designer series paper to create some fun cards using just one sheet of that paper, which then obviously you'll get the cutting diagram and things that you can make that again over and over using your designer series paper. So again, our hosted retreat for September, special bonus for our Stamper Studio friends. And go ahead, as with everything, go to thestamperstudio.com and you can sign up there for that. All right, let's go ahead and jump back in. And I did another take on the card we just made. Let me go ahead and move some things out of our way. And grab our next one. So our next one, I did the same thing and went with a different color scheme. And for this one, I used Bubble Bath, Pool Party, and Lemon Lolly. So let's go ahead and I messed up all my pieces here. So let's go ahead and just dump those on out there. You know what? I am probably not going to make this whole thing. I'm just going to show you how it looked. So let's go ahead and let's do squares. So square, square, square. Square and our white. Now, like I said, when I did these, all I did was I cut out 2 sets of the shapes that I was using. So I did 2 sets of in each of the colors. So in this case, lemon lolly, pool party, and bubble bath, and our white, of course. And why am I not seeing some of my stuff here? That's all right. We will just start layering on others. Interesting. All right, so had these all stacked nice and neatly, and then I kind of made a mess of them. So that's all right. That's what happens, what we say happens in live TV. Things just happen like that. So here's a square. Need another of our little ones. And we need the little lemon lolly. Another lemon lolly. There we go. That's all right. You get the idea. I'm just missing one there. Who knows where it went? It went missing. So we'll just move him out of the rotation right now. For this one, I thought, what if we did a slimline card? So took this same idea and did it with our slimline card. And so what I would do is I would go ahead and layer these on. Again, I'm not going to go ahead and make you watch the whole thing. But if we went something like this, move it up so that you can see all the way down. Again, I'm just kind of laying them out to give you the idea. Again, we would go in with our sentiment on a banner. Actually, I would go ahead and trade these two. You'll see why in just a second. Because of using the pool party in our banner. And then like I did on the other one, I would probably just scatter in, and this one I would maybe do some of the colors rather than on the other ones I just dropped in some extra of the white. On this one we could easily drop in some extra of the smallest circle in our different colors. And so going that route is another way that we could use, kind of showing you what it would look like. Oh, I just dropped in circles. I actually kind of like the little circles in with the squares, but it wasn't my intention, but I kind of like the mix there. What do you guys think? And for this one, what I would do is I would go ahead and for the bling, I would use our adhesive back solid gems, which come in all of our colors here. And so I would drop in probably just of these, I would do the lemon lolly ones because they're going to match the best. And I would just drop in some of those scattered as our bling for this. So that would be another way, shifting it to a slimline card, moving it to squares instead of the circles, that we could do something similar to, just to bring it back on camera, the one I started with, smudge and all. All right. Well, that is what I have for you today. Just wanted to bring you that. Let's bring it back up here. Hopefully, that gives you some nice ideas. And again, like I said, I think Stylish Shapes is probably the most versatile die set we have out there, and so many things that you can do with it. Today, we used it more as a focal point, but obviously, using it as an accent, as the layers behind your sentiments, great way to do it. So, with that, we are going to sign off. We will look forward to seeing you on Monday when Lisa will be back in the studio. And just a little sneak peek, the studio here is going to get just a little bit of a facelift for Monday. So look forward to seeing you on Monday. I'll be back on the other side of the camera. And with that, happy stamping.